Hello everybody, how are you? My fellow boxing brothers. Alright, I'm back. Haven't been doing this for a while again. Mainly because there haven't been so many fights to talk about this month. Yeah, it's not been the best month generally for boxing. I think next one will be better. Yeah. Anyway, but now this Saturday we actually do have three fights which of which one of them is really very relevant or quite relevant, and that one is Diego Pacheco versus Emmanuel Aleem. Even though you might say it is a fight of a young lion versus an old lion, already past his prime, Aleem, you might say, even though he's only 32. He's not that old, but he's had four losses, and yeah, he's still a very solid fighter. His big victory was when he stopped Yevgen Kitrov in 2017 in 6 rounds, which was a pretty big upset. I mean, Kitrov was highly rated, but hadn't been tested properly, and obviously didn't make the test. But Ali then went on to get disappointingly knocked out by Hugo Centeno Jr. in his next fight in 3 rounds, which sealed the deal for him. You might say never didn't get the world title shot because of that. And then Centeno Jr. got to fight Jamal Charlo. Anyway, yeah. So in his last fight, which was for the interim WBC super middleweight title, Aleem lost on points to Lester Martinez, which was a really wide decision. And Martinez is also unbeaten. And now Pacheco, really tall guy for a super middleweight. Aleem is not tall at all. He's 5'9" only. But Pacheco 6'4". Oh my God, no. Now you got all these tall, really tall super middleweights. Like before, 5'9" wouldn't have looked that short, as super middleweight. But it was like mostly guys that were in that division were like 5'11", 6 feet tall, stuff like that. 5'10", 5'9". So yeah, now it's like 6'4". Crazy. Even for a light heavyweight, that's really tall. So yeah, uh, Diego Pacheco, not exactly a big puncher. Well, he can punch, but his last three victories were on points. Against Steven Nelson, Trevor McCombie, and Kevin Sajo, which was the most pivotal victory so far. He also has talked Maciej Sulecki, but Sulecki was on the slide already, and he definitely was not his old self, but then he wouldn't have been stopped, obviously. So yeah, he can knock out these guys who are either on the slide or not top, like elite level. Yeah, but against elite level guys, check who wins on points. Okay, most often. So Aleem, Pacheco is 25. He's got all the advantages definitely. So I don't see Aleem winning this fight. His last victory was against Demont Nicholson. Shout out, by the way. Won by TKO 9. So that was actually a light heavyweight. So yeah, this is a really good fight for Aleem. It was a good thing that he landed this fight. So not enough light here, sorry. But I don't see him winning this fight simply. Okay. However, he will probably go the distance. Yeah, that probably. Yeah, you know. All right, but Pacheco doing. And then we have Harlan Eubank, who is a cousin of the more famous Chris Eubank Jr. He's fighting also in Hackney Wick, Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, Middlesex, against David Papo. It was for a vacant IBF International welterweight title. So yeah, Harlan he lost to Jack Catterall, which was his, of course, by far biggest fight. But for now, he beat Tyrone McKenna, pretty good victory, TKO 10. Timo Schwarzkopf, TKO 11. He, after losing to Carroll by a technical decision, he beat Josh Wagner on points. And now he faces this guy, David Papo. I've heard of him. I've come across him. Not a puncher. 5 knockouts and 30 wins. And Harlan has 9 and 22. And Papo has also beaten Josh Wagner, but by knockout actually. One of his few ones. Then he lost to Liam Paro in his last fight, which was in September last year. So he hasn't fought, for a while. And Eubank last fought in November. So, well, interesting fight. Yeah, interesting fight. Papo, French, 35 years old. Not exactly at his peak. I mean, he never, except for, Paro was the first really world class fighter he fought and he lost. Even though it wasn't a shutout decision or anything, but still a clear loss on all three scorecards. Harlan Eubank, I see him as a guy who has potential. However, he's probably not as talented as his cousin, but he's a tough guy, tough cookie, and can box, can even brawl when necessary. He's got talent. Yeah, I see him winning this fight, definitely, to be honest. And if he's fighting at home, he's from Brighton, Sussex, so yeah, anyway. A good fighter, definitely. Not outstanding, perhaps not really like world class, elite level, whatever, but I think close to that. Really close to that, yeah. So yeah, he wins, I believe, on points probably. Because Papo hasn't ever been stopped before. I doubt that Holland will stop him. He's not really a huge puncher or anything. And then finally, this is a super featherweight fight. We have Charlie Suarez versus Manuel Avila. Alright? I really don't know these guys, so I have to look them up. This Charlie Suarez is a Filipino. Yeah, 18 and 0. 10 knockouts. Good record, huh? And his last fight was no contest against Emmanuel Navarrete. And yeah, so he's pretty fresh. I mean, hasn't fought many famous or notable fighters. Manuel Avila, he's Avila 26 2 and 1. And also, I mean, well, he lost to Joet Gonzalez by KO in the 6th. And Joseph Jojo Diaz on points. So he's been there. Beat Jose Luis Ramirez by split decision. Rene Alvarado, UD, unanimous. Joandres Salinas. Yeah, he's got some pretty good names that he won against. Yeah, he's 34 years old, however, and I don't see it at the age of, Charlie Suarez. Wow, 37. Okay, so Suarez slightly shorter, even though 5'6" here actually in box checks, Villa's height is listed as 5'5", but on this page, box live it is 5'7". Anyway, yeah, both guys have an orthodox stance. So, yeah, nothing can be no problems with the southpaw that can arise from southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter. But yeah, the thing is, Avila has really has lost his last two fights, and that therefore Suarez looks like the favorite, even though this is in California where Avila is from. Well, he hasn't. Sorry, sorry, strike that. He didn't lose his last two fights. He lost his most coveted fights. Let's put it that way. And Suarez unbeaten, as I said. Uh, Against Navarrete before the stoppage came was doing well, pretty even fight. Was losing by 1 point on two cards and three on the third. So yeah, he's obviously a good fighter, talented. So yeah, I don't know. He will win, I think, probably. But it's hard to do. I don't know really why I did the last fight because I don't really know these guys. But all right, let it be. So let's just looking what we have ahead of us. Oh yeah, on July 24th we have the big fight. Even though it's not as big as you may think, Tyson Fury versus Mario Shavak. Okay, I'll talk about it next time. Okay, until then, see ya.